Alright, so, metaphysics aside, I know that we just went through a wonderful dungeon in
so engaging.
The Tower of wherever we were, and I just want you to know that the game is gonna just keep the hits coming.
This is Matar.
You could not have established this any more ominously.
It looks like the earth here isn't tainted yet. Let's hurry and get the heart embrace.
Well, whatever. So, like, I guess helping Mom is a side quest then?
It's on the list. I'm pretty sure this one is mandatory, but it doesn't really matter. Either way, we're here. We're doing that one first.
Yeah. Like, I was trying to read the vibes of the game, but, like, it didn't help that I only got a short look at the list, but, like, I feel like they're trying to do the thing where, like, okay, here's the main thing that we gotta do, and here's all the other stuff that you can now do, because it's, like, at this point, it's been several years since Tales of Symphonia, and they probably all got yelled at magnificently for that clusterfuck. So, they know what they're doing now. So they give us the list.
You'd think that, but as of this point, Vesperia had not yet come out. So
yeah, but like they still could have taken the hard lesson learned, is what I'm saying. Like that. Anyway, the point is, like, it's kind of unclear to me, at least, just, you know, from viewing all that, what's actually, like, the main thing, because, you know, I've got the standard completionist thing, where, you know, if you give me a main thing to do, I'm gonna do literally every single possible thing, except the thing that obviously advances the plot, because that's the gamer brain at work. And, like, if I had to, like, try and meta logic the stuff that we've got, this thing with helping Mum is, like, it's the thing that's directly engaging with our new powers. It's being like, hey, let's do god things, let's go deal with the past. Like, that stuff is, like, there's plot flags all over that. But also, like, you know, I would have thought that we should be, you know, going to talk to Quaestor Varus just a little bit. And, you know, then there's Millie, who's, like, got stuff to tell us that's, like,
Not a bad workout.
you know, clearly been pretty bound up in the plot so far, but I would have thought that would be main plot, but to hear the game tell it, that's actually a side quest. Like, what is the deal here? Also, what is the deal here? What?
Oh, I'm glad you asked about the deal here. Do you like waiting?
Not really. I think as a rule, it's pretty much 100% of the time a failure when a game requires the player to, like, wait and not do anything. Why do you ask?
Okay, well, what if we designed a dungeon where roughly every 40 seconds or so, you had to be A, undercover, and B, stand there and do nothing for about 20 seconds?
I mean, that sounds magnificently insufferable.
And if you're not undercover, you black out and get sent all the way back to the start of the dungeon.
Aha. Do you get to see, like, a timer or something?
Oh, absolutely not.
Aha. Okay. Do you get, like, any indication at all?
No. Screen just gets dark and it starts raining.
Great. Okay. Fuck that.
You have, like, I don't know, like, if you're out in the open and it starts raining, you have, like, I don't know, 5 seconds maybe to get back in cover. But also, if it's raining and you're out in the open, you get put in the tired state, so you're already walking slower.
Aha! Great, amazing. Game design. A whole endeavor in the trash. Just spite towards the game designer. Just fucking throw it all in the garbage and set it on fire. Now that I've said, like, I think it's 100% of the time, like, a failure to make the player wait and do nothing, I'm trying to think if there's, like, a counter-example. Because there's always a counter-example to, like, you know, bad game design stuff. Like, you know, like I don't know, like, the Bennett Foddy stuff. Is I watched this whole video that was about how stuff like Getting Over It is basically about just bullshit fucking game design, but done by somebody who understands it completely and innately and understands why it's bad and why it is bad because it makes people feel certain things, and what if making people feel those things in a more controlled way towards a more I mean, benevolent's a strong word, but, you know, to an actual purpose, could be used to create, you know, art. So there's that kind of thing, and then, you know, there's always Dark Souls, which is a series that characteristically does things that would get any other developer screamed at. Like, it's very much a series about everything being bullshit, and you, like, just deal with it, and you bring your own bullshit, and you get it to work. Like, it's a game about beating the game as much as it is about clearing the content in the game. And, like, oh, I don't know, like, Earthbound famously had a bit in it where you just had to stand perfectly still for, like, if I remember correctly, like 3 continuous minutes in this one spot.
Oh, put a pin in that one. We're gonna come back to that.
But I mean, like, notably, the Earthbound thing, A, was kind of done as a joke, B, only happened exactly once, and then never happened again. And, like that was the thing, right? I think I said, I can't remember, it was in something we did, it might have been Darksiders, it sounds like a Darksiders kind of thing for me to say. But, like, the thing that I'm thinking of is that I said something like players will overlook pretty much any flaw if it just gets out of the way quick enough, like if the absolute amount of time that they lose to it, A, isn't very long, and B, doesn't manage to feel very long. That sounds like something I would say, right? Anyway, this isn't that. This is like, hey, we've just got this continuous passive stop-start going on, and you can just get fucked by it repeatedly.
I mean, it's very easy to not get caught by the rain. The problem is that doing so means that you have to take this dungeon so slowly and miserably.
Yeah. Like, this is the thing about the waiting, right? It's not just about the waiting, it's about slowing down the thing and not doing anything else while you're slowing down the thing, right? It's like, there's this notion in action game design, but there was this pattern that comes up. There's some games that do it a lot. Like, I want to say the Musus do this kind of thing a lot, where you've got your guy, and your guy has, like, you know, like a 5-hit combo, and there'll be some enemy, and the enemy has a little vulnerable phase, and the vulnerable phase lasts exactly 4 hits of your 5-hit combo, and if you go for that 5th hit, you get fucked. And it's basically not possible to, like, properly land the 5th hit. and like never will be, as opposed to like I don't know, thinking of this under pressure is hard, but something like, I don't know, Fury. Fury is a very simple game in which you're a very simple guy with a very simple moveset, of which one thing is just this little 4-hit sword combo. Or you can do other things like a charged slash, or you can shoot stuff, you can do a charge shot. There's a couple different things you can do, and it's usually not possible to go for the full 4-hit combo. But you can make it possible. And there's usually, like, it will usually make it more difficult if you try to do that, but you can go for it, and you get rewarded for going for it, so it's not like a stop-start game design thing. And it's not like any other kind of situation where, here's the thing that you've got to do, and periodically you've got to stop thinking about that thing and think about another thing instead. In those situations, you're still doing stuff. Oh, hey. We were just talking about this. So, like, all that stuff is fine. It's just that what possesses a developer to make you do nothing? Right? You don't just wait. That's like the one thing that you don't do. Even if you're doing something that's waiting light, even if you're like trying to hunker down and defend against a thing, and you can't like do anything else while you're defending, but you're still doing stuff. That kind of thing can work. But this is just like, this is just the dark end form of stop and go game design.
Now, you might be asking yourself, why did we push that rock? That's stupid. We had no reason to push that rock.
I mean, I was gonna say because it's there and it's interactable, and this is a JRPG, and like, you just know.
Oh, you absolutely just know. But let's talk about that rock. And in fact, let's go back to that other idea that you had.
No, there was a pin.
Yes. So, let me introduce you to a puzzle. Now, we need to cross to the other side of this pond to get the heart embrace.
Uh-huh.
Now, you would think that you could just jump down and walk across this pond. Certainly, that was my first impression. And I spent a very long time trying to figure out why I could not do this. And so I eventually looked up the solution. So, what you have to do is you have to plant this leaf, and now you have to wait for it to rain twice before the pond is full enough that you can cross. However, if you didn't push that rock, all of the water that just came in will drain out, and then you will have to leave, push the rock, come back, and wait 2 more times.
Cool.
And you cannot leave this screen.
Right, that was gonna be one of my many questions, is, you have to, it has to be twice in a row on this screen without leaving.
Yes, twice on this screen, no leaving, with the rock there to block the way, so that the water doesn't drain.
So, like, obvious question, like, what does anything happen the first time you come here and it rains once? Is there like any indication at all?
No, well, it doesn't. So here's the thing, right? You don't even find out any of this unless you are undercover, because obviously you will faint and collapse if you are not. So theoretically, you would come here, see that there's nothing you could do, but maybe you'd see that you could plant a lotus leaf. So you go get one, come back, plant, wait, the water would go up, it would drain, you would realize you have to block it, go to the other side, push the boulder, come back, and now have to wait for it to rain 2 more times.
Well, that's something. Like, I don't like the having to wait for it, but like,
You think that's heart embrace?
it's just barely kind of fair enough
But isn't anyone going to miss
that they
the
set stuff up
monster
that
in front
you
of it?
can, like, intuit's a strong word, but like, that the steps of the solution are presented to you.
We'll just have to take it out.
Like, this doesn't seem like total bullshit, just as a solution.
All the way.
Like, if there had been nothing that indicates that anything was happening after the first time that it rained, then that would have been very bad. But, I don't know. I feel like the conceit of the dungeon itself is far more of an issue for me than that particular puzzle solution. Well, after all that, what do we got here?
Well, our big friend here will knock us around for a decent chunk of damage, I guess, but the far more dangerous thing that it does is ovulate.
Sounds amazing.
So, in addition to potentially putting you to sleep, it gets you a nice little doom timer. It counts down at regular intervals, and it counts up every time that character takes an action. And when it hits 0, that character will die at the end of whoever's turn it currently is.
Good times. Good times.
If you have not been making regular use of the artifact that cures all status ailments, this is an excellent time to start doing so.
Yeah, I can see the utility here. From the name of it, I thought it was going to also result in like ads spawning, which would have been even worse.
It's sort of like that, I guess. Like, I guess what technically happens is the eggs that it spit on you hatches, and they just like fucking devour your character.
Yeah, and then just go away. But yeah, I mean that's clearly the vibe. It's just I expected the ad to remain and you have to kill it. I guess they just, having successfully hatched, just immediately die. Like, I don't know, that's not feel like that's a demerit on the world design there.
This is bound to hurt.
Yeah, as demonstrated. Like, that seems like something that should have a lasting consequence besides the loss of a party member. But, you know, that's just like my opinion, man. Okay, so here's a question. We're in, like, side quest list times. How does the game balance pan out around that?
It doesn't, really? Like, I mean, don't quote me on this, I haven't played all of them yet, but it seems like most of these quests are all vaguely around the same difficulty, so...
Yeah, one way to handle it.
Let's pick some heart embrace and head home.
Wait, it would appear the purple monster has some purple friends.
Alright, maybe those are the things that it hatched.
They grew up very quickly.
I don't know, if I've been paying attention, I know for a fact that we can just pick the stuff and then just
Hey,
immediately
how
peace
am I
out
supposed to handle this many?
and return to the future.
Sagi, you and the wench pick some heart embrace and run. I'll take care of things here.
But Kilo,
Sheena won't ever be herself again without you. Now go!
Once again, in certain scenes, they do a pretty acceptable job of, like, adapting the voice lines
The White Dragon!
around the
I always
unpronounceable
thought it was
word.
just a legend, but there it is.
Also,
So you may remember from the first game that this is the witch's pet. Why is it here?
did you see how it toasted them
Shrug.
all?
It's so beautiful. Just like they described it at the School of Magic.
I feel like there's a non-zero chance that it's there for the sole purpose to be referred to.
Do you think it did that to save us?
Who knows? Start running. Maybe you'll catch up in time to ask it.
Nah, I'm pretty sure it got put there because a writer
I bet it was
wanted there to
trying to
be a
help us.
continuity nod.
It sure felt that way to me.
Well, either way, we can go home now. Let's pick the heart embrace and head back.
Nah, see, we should be able to just flip back and forth at will, I think.
You would think, but that might be proved to be too convenient. At least let us do it on the world map. But alas, we have to come back to the Briar Clock.
Man. Things we do to get stuff. This is like, it was one thing when we were just like flipping back and forth between continuities and we had like our combat inventory and like we had the stuff that we had and it was just vaguely understood that we were basically piloting another guy who was doing other stuff, and it all just about panned out. But this,
A woman's loose! She has the test subject! Stop her! Don't let her escape!
this I think is they pushed it too far.
Are you crying again? What am I going to do with you?
Show me your wings. Please, Mom? Show me.
Oh, all right. But this is the last time if you don't stop crying.
I'm not crying. See? I'm not.
All right, mister.
See, why was that second part of that scene there? The first bit is fair enough. It's like, that was like
Sagi,
vaguely
are you
new
still out
information.
Gina's worried sick. Get down.
Kilo.
Were you crying again?
I feel like all they're really establishing is that Sagi just fucking cries at like the drop of a hat.
Just tell her.
That's not it.
I mean, that we also already knew.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not a little kid anymore.
Are you sure about this? we won't be able to return for a while.
Yeah, chances like this don't come along that often. The money's good, and they don't care where I'm from. They're looking for grunts. But if I get picked for the Dark Service, I'll make even more. It's the least I can do for Mom. For Mom. Mom.
Like, this is really weird. There's, like,
Mom.
we've had this whole sequence of little flashbacks, and there's been, like, absolutely nothing in them. Except for the very first one, which was, like, okay, technically new information,
Mom,
but a thing that we
you're awake.
could have, like,
Good morning, Sagi.
kind of guessed at, and also it was all of, like, 5 seconds long, and everything else was just, like... Man, it's really weird.
I'm so lucky I have this many people to be grateful for. Sagi, Gilo, Milliard. Thank you all so much.
Hey, what about us? Yeah, us.
You too, Tekin Wacho. Thank you.
They literally organised our
The
side
worst
quest
may
journal
be
for
behind
us.
her, but Gina still needs to recuperate. Sagi, I hope you'll settle down and look after your mother for a while.
That may be a small problem, Doc. Have you
about
seen
that.
my journal?
We've got stuff
It's
to do.
okay, Sagi.
Besides,
I can see it in your
she
eyes.
seems pretty
You've
well
found
attended
what it is
here.
you want to do.
Oh, Mom.
Like, I don't know, I feel like we should leave
Don't
this to
worry,
the
Me and
doctor.
Cheek will take care of Gina.
Just a
Uh-huh, Gina.
feeling.
You know, I could jokingly say we should leave it to the
Thanks.
children, but it sounds, you
I'm gonna
know,
go
given
then,
how
Mom.
they organized our side quest journal, that
All right.
They'd do a better fucking job of it than we would.
I
I was gonna say they do a pretty fucking good job of it, actually.
Promise. But I'm still gonna come back home when
Even
it's
if we
done.
did have to literally go time traveling in
I
order
know.
to deliver the critical
And I'll be
ingredient.
here waiting.
Still mad about that, but yeah. Now that I think about it, does this game predate Apollo Justice Ace Attorney? Because, that was a fucking game with a time-traveling inventory problem.